Hello, it's us. It's the best Damn Illini Postgame Show. I promise we're not trying to be a fair weather podcast. Um, but honestly, the way the life has gone and the season has gone the last couple weeks, that's kind of where we're at. He's Craig. I am Logan. We're here to talk about Illinois' 83-74. What was a 20-point game ended up being a 9-point final from Champaign. Before we get started, like, share, subscribe, get in the comments, let us know your thoughts. We'll try to make this short and sweet. There's football on TV. I know we both would rather be watching that. I'm sure most of you would as well. But we are going to talk about this game for at least a little bit. Hello, Craig. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
The snow is finally melting, so
snow is melting.
Right here.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice warm up. I think the next week or so, at least for I'm assuming for you too. But we're going to get warmer temperatures. So yeah, the problem with me is that I never bothered to shovel my driveway the first time, and it just kind of like piled on, and like it hasn't been like bad, but it's just kind of just been annoying. But yes, a little bit of a warm up, and maybe a little bit of a warm up for a heat up, maybe for Illinois basketball. See what I did there? Okay. Yeah. So obviously we didn't do a show like the Maryland game because, quite frankly, I believe my text to Craig said, "Frankly, I don't care." Because that's where I was at. So I don't want to dwell on that game. I know the last time we did something like this, we kind of spent way too much time talking about the previous game. That's not why we're here. That game is past. We're moving on. We're moving forward with Illinois basketball. And what they did today against Northwestern was fairly impressive, especially without your starting center and arguably one of your best players. So right off the top here, Craig, give me your thoughts. How you feeling now after that? Take me through the roller coaster that was your emotions, or lack thereof roller coaster. Maybe it was more like the teacup ride, but go ahead.
Yeah, it was. I don't want to say it was a weird feeling going into it, but I was just kind of like, and I texted someone this before the game. I was like, I'm just kind of, whatever, I guess, with the rest of the season, because I don't think the Big Ten regular season title is in play anymore.
Correct.
So where I'm at right now is get healthy, stay healthy. The people who are playing, stay healthy, get Tommy healthy, make a run, potentially win the Big Ten tournament, get a good seed, get a good draw in the NCAA, and make a run there. Like it's just at this point, it's get to the postseason. With what has gone on the last 2 weeks, ever since the West Coast trip, we haven't really seen a full strength team outside of one game. And that one game was a 94-69 win in Bloomington, Indiana. So that's where I'm at right now. So going into this, I was kind of like, whatever. Just like I wanted to win, obviously, but just don't get hurt, play well, get through it. I was thrilled with the 25-point lead that Illinois had. And I'm not exactly sure what happened at the end. I think they just started hitting shots and we took our foot off the gas and they came back, but that doesn't concern me whatsoever. But yeah, it might've been the most well-rounded performance of the season so far. 5 guys in double figures. Completely different energy from the jump than Thursday night. The guys were ready to play. Energy was there. Helps that the shots fell in the first half, not so much in the second half. 3 of 16 from 3 in the second half. So it was one of the better, well-rounded performances of the season, I thought.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is a game you definitely didn't want to give up. This has been a particularly rough stretch for Illinois basketball, as you kind of alluded to. This is just their second win in their last 5 games. So you had the rough, abnormal home loss to USC, then you blow out Indiana, then you go to Michigan State, lose a heartbreaker there, a game you arguably could have won, and then the Maryland debacle earlier this week, and now this. So yeah, 2-5 over the course of their last 5 games. It's not a great stretch, but you have to factor in the injuries and the sickness. They've been without KJ for really 3 games. He missed 2 games due to injury and missed the third game due to foul trouble, which we don't need to dissect that any more than's already been done. And now you've been without Tommy for 2 games. So plus other members of the team have also been sick. They've just been playing through it. So yes, as you said, this is the point in the season where you just got to get healthy. You start every season. You have every team pretty much has 3 goals: win a conference championship, win a conference tournament championship, or win a national championship. Those are your 3 goals. And as you said, the first one at this point, I think, is out the window. They already have 4 losses in the Big Ten. I don't see a path to that. But this team, as we've seen, is certainly capable of playing with anybody, but they're also capable of losing to anybody. So yeah, getting healthy right now is the big thing. Kind of going over some of the stats from this game. Illinois hit 9 3-pointers. I would say that was the standout, but Northwestern actually shot 10, made 3 3-pointers. Illinois was 16 for 24 from the free throw line. The offensive rebounds continue to I haven't looked at like the numbers like on a ranking like where they are like nationally or in the conference, but this is a very good offensive rebounding team, especially the last few games. Out rebounded Northwestern on the offensive end 21-9, 29-18 on the defensive end. 13 second chance points.
How many offensive rebounds?
21 offensive rebounds.
Averaging 13.1 going into today. That was 38th in the country.
Yeah. So
that'll go up.
Yeah. No, this was, as you said, this was a very much an all-around game. You know, your best player who you finally got a good 35 minutes out of, hardly even scored in the first half, still finished with a double-double, 3 assists shy of a triple-double. So 11 and 10 for KJ with 7 assists. Boswell led all Illinois in scoring with 17, 6 rebounds, 4 assists for him, 3 turnovers. Ben Humrichous, 14 points. Morez Johnson, 15 points and 9 rebounds. Jake Davis, double figures with 11 points. Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn, who's been one of the best players on this team the last few weeks. Only 3 points from him tonight, but again, you didn't really need it when everybody else is putting up double figures. 5 Illinois players finished in double figures. Trey White also had 8 points. I mean, and the other thing, the big thing on the other end is you shut down Northwestern. Brooks Barnheiser and
Martinelli got
Martinelli end up with 17. Barnheiser only finished with 3 points. So that's going to happen. But I mean, it was a pretty good defensive effort in the first half. As I said, this was really a 20-point game. It was really that last minute that, what was it? Northwestern went on a 7-0 run, and I look up, and all of a sudden it's a 7-point game or something. Like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
But either way, you finish it out with a 9-point win. What's going on in the chat? I know Michael's here. Logan, your mom says hi. Hello, Mom. Hello, Father. Illini Dave, Morez was a monster today. Northwestern isn't deep down low, but Morez stepped up. Yeah, they're not deep down low. Neither is Illinois, as we've seen, especially when your starting center is out with what is now being described as mono. I've heard strep throat. I've heard the flu. I've heard mono. So
yeah,
that's what it is now.
That's what, when you started talking about the Maryland game, it was just straight up, even with Tommy, that's just a bad matchup.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Queen and Reese. Sure. I mean, I think I said it 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, when you asked me, who's the top tier of the Big Ten. I included Maryland at that point.
For that reason, yeah.
For that reason, yeah. Like those two, and then you've got shooters around them. Like they're a sleeper, like second weekend potential. Like I don't think they're Final Four good, but they're Elite Eight good. Like if they're in the Elite Eight, I would not be surprised if they get a good draw. So even with Tomislav, I think Maryland would have been a bad matchup. But then you take him out of the equation, and Morez kind of gets in foul trouble. It was just a recipe for disaster for Maryland. But yes, Northwestern did not have that. And so from the jump, Morez kind of, flexed his muscles a little bit. I think he might have had a dunk the first play, or first points of the game might have been a dunk from him. So yeah, it was a good game for Morez. 35
minutes too. 35 minutes from both Morez and KJ. Yeah. Ben played 29, Kylan 28. It was an impressive all around game. Morez has filled in nicely in that role. Again, the problem was never the two deep in the post. There's just nothing after that. Illinois might have the best 1-2 punch as far as centers go in the Big Ten, if you want to call them that. But they have no post presence after that. That's the issue. It was never can Morez hold his own. It's the fact that when he's not on the court, what do you do? Because at that point, Ben Humrichous is your next closest thing to a post player. Kerry Booth did not see the floor today. They at least tried to get him in there in the Maryland game. Yeah, it didn't go very well. So yeah, there isn't much past that. So hopefully you can get Tommy healthy, get him back on the floor on Thursday when they head to Nebraska. But we'll just have to see. Let's see. Ben Humrichous, 4 threes today. When the threes are clicking, things are going well for this team, especially in the first half. First half, Illinois was 6 for 16 from 3. They shoot a lot of them, but you just got to make, 40% if you shoot that many, will put you in a good spot. And they were hitting them in the first half. Shocker by that? Are you shocked by that?
No. My halftime analysis was Illinois is a much better team when they're making shots. That's the hard-hitting journalism that I bring to this program.
The audience comes here for, Craig. It is that hard-hitting analysis. I believe I said something very similar to my father in a text message a game or two ago, that when the threes aren't falling, this team has no offense.
I think what it boils down to, though, is the rebounding. If they get out-rebounded, they're not going to win. And tonight they almost doubled Northwestern up on the boards.
Without your 7-footer.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, again, we talked about it. Northwestern doesn't have a lot in terms of post presence, but Illinois did that without their 7-footer on the
Everyone had 3 or more rebounds. They played 8 guys, and all 8 of them had 3 or more rebounds.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible to see that. Much better effort from this team than what we've seen in some of these past games. Neither you nor I, well, you at least went back and watched it, I believe. Neither you or I watched the first time these two teams played this year.
Oh yeah,
live.
I watched in the hotel as soon as we got back from the wedding.
I did not. I have not seen a single thing from that game. But this was a much better effort for Illinois to get past Northwestern. What else we need to touch on? Who else you happy with? What else you happy with? What else you sad about? You have any frustrations you need to get out? Need to vent?
My frustration is the game before us got over at 2:45, and we still didn't tip until 3:07. It's 2025. Can we not figure this shit out yet? That's my frustration.
We've talked about this, though, right? Like, we know why. I think the reason for this is because they have to, at some point, set a timer. The clock, at some point, has to get set for an hour before the start of the game. In arena. Yeah. It's not a matter of TV. It's in arena. The clock has to get set to,
because there's routines the players have to go through,
and that's why it is. I know it's annoying and it's obviously frustrating, and everybody complains about it. But like, that's the reason why. Like, yes, exactly. So does it suck? Yes. Is it annoying? Absolutely. But it is what it is.
Game wise, I don't think I have any real complaints. I mean, they got to the foul line a lot today, which Brad wanted to make sure that they did. Kylan looked like early season Kylan, not trying to jack up threes and throw no look passes like Brad asked him not to do. So, overall, it was a game that I kind of just sat and observed. I wasn't really, I wouldn't say I had my full attention for most of it.
Yeah. No, they did shoot 24 free throws. They made 16 of them. Kylan was 9 for 10 from the free throw line.
Again, his only miss was his last free throw, just like the Missouri.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's much more we need to dive into. No. We can move forward.
Is there a number next to Illinois tomorrow at about 1:00 Eastern?
Yeah, probably like 23 or 24. Here's the thing: this team is still top 10 in the net. I don't understand it. Where are they at in KenPom? Where are they at in KenPom?
I was going to say the same thing. I do not understand why the analytics love this team so much.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I don't know. I think they'll still be ranked. I think they'll probably be top 25, probably, 22, 23, something like that would be my guess. But yeah, they are still top 10 in the net, top 10 in Ken Palm. The analytics love this team for some reason, probably because they've played really good against really good teams at different times. But they've also looked terrible against some really bad teams at other times.
I mean, that's what it boils down to is the strength of schedule or the net, the quad one games. That's why the numbers are so good. It has to be.
Yeah, Illinois right now. Let's see. This hasn't been updated. That was a quad 2. So right now, Illinois is 4-5 in quad 1, 4-1 in quad 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's weird. It's a strange team analytically, all those things. I think the general consensus from both the local and the national media and fans and everything is that I kind of seen and I kind of agree with. I think this team is still has scary potential that can beat anybody, but the consistency really hasn't been there.
Top 5 team in the country if everyone is healthy.
Yeah, and I think the big question will be, can you win 6 in a row? And I mean, that's where I'm at. I'm not sure this team is capable of winning 6 in a row when it comes to tournament time. But hey, I'd be happy with 4 in a row. But we still got plenty of basketball before then. They head to Nebraska on Thursday night. That game will tip off at, I don't know what time, like 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 local Central Time, something like that. Nebraska is, I'm looking at bracketologists. They're 57 in the net. They're 52 in Ken Palm. They're 1-6 in quad 1. This would be a big game for them. Nebraska has now lost 6 games in a row.
They got shellacked today.
Yeah, they've lost
They
to
got
Iowa,
crushed.
Purdue, Rutgers, Maryland, USC, and then, yes, as you said, they lost by 28 points on the road to Wisconsin today. So they will be looking for a win. Illinois will also be looking to try and continue this. Illinois has
Timeout.
this. Yo, go ahead.
Name one Nebraska player. Go.
The only one I can think of is not playing, so I couldn't tell you. Rick Mast.
He graduated, didn't he?
No, he got hurt, I think.
Oh, I thought he was gone.
No, okay. I think wasn't he the one that got hurt at the beginning of the season and is going to miss the whole year, I think?
I don't know. I didn't know that. I couldn't. I knew Esigian. I knew Esigian was there, but that's it.
Roster.
Mast is still there. I didn't know he was hurt, but he is still
he did something before the season even started, and he's going to
Mast to miss 2024-2025 season.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hoiberg's son does play too, and he actually plays this year, which I don't think that's a good sign.
Yeah, I'm looking at the roster. I don't really recognize any of those names. So
yeah.
Yes, besides Esigian, who I only know because he played somewhere else. Okay, so yes, that game is Thursday. This is still that stretch of games where you just stack up the wins. It's not like there's no such thing as an easy game with the Big Ten, but the next 4 at Nebraska, home against Ohio State, at Rutgers, and at Minnesota. Like, that's not the roughest stretch of basketball. Especially the way they've played the last couple of weeks with injuries and sickness and everything else. It would be really nice to get at least 3 of those, if not all 4. Because after that, it's a lot more difficult. The road's a lot more challenging.
After 4, no, my math's not right.
It's only 2 quad 1 games. Nebraska and Ohio State are right now quad 1. That Rutgers team is obviously they are very top heavy. 2 of the best freshmen in the world play on that team, but the team as a whole is not good. And it is a very tough place to play. They didn't even play there yesterday against Michigan State. They moved that game to the Garden. I noticed.
Those 2 right there. The Rack is the best visiting venue that I went to when I was in TV, and the Garden is the best just basketball. Like, they call it the Mecca, and it just feels different when you walk in there. So those 2 games, those 2 home arenas for Rutgers are pretty sweet.
There's a few comments.
Minnesota is playing well, so that's no slouch right now.
No,
Yeah, let's
No,
throw this
but
one out
those are
there.
your next 4. Dave, what's your concern on Will Riley? Outside of Michigan State, he's been ice cold in conference play, especially from 3. Feel like his shots are always so damn close, but just can't fall. I've had the same take on Will Riley for a while. I just think he's got a ways to go. He's capable of lighting it up, as we've seen. I think he's a great pure scorer. But yes, as you alluded to, the shots right now just aren't falling. I don't think that's something that you fix. I think that's just a mental thing, similar to what we saw with Ben Humrichous towards the beginning of the season. It just took a while for him too. Will Riley, I think, is a bona fide talent. And if an NBA team wants to take a chance on him, I think that they're more than capable of doing that. But I think Will Riley still has a ways to go before he's to that level. Again, he's a reclassified freshman. But this team is talented enough that you don't need Will Riley to be putting up 15 points a game on a regular basis. So even if you have those moments like you got against Michigan State, I wish they could have won that game. It would make me feel a lot better about that performance because he torched them in the first half. Yeah, I like Will. I'm glad he's here. I want him to stick around for another year. I think he could do a lot of good in the orange and blue next season. But for right now, he's just kind of a piece that you just hope from time to time you're able to get him to catch fire and get something out of him. Agree? Disagree?
What does a NBA, like the 28th pick in the NBA draft, make?
Not as much as what he can make at Illinois next year. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember the dollar amount.
It's about $2 million.
I think
So if he sneaks into the bottom half of the first round, he would make north of $2 million. Which I don't think he would get at Illinois.
I don't think he'll get at Illinois. I don't think he'll get that much. But again, it'll just kind of depend. I mean, I know there's a lot of hot takes out there about him. The NBA, it's no one's going to take Will Riley expecting him to immediately play in a rotation on a top team.
Yep.
They're going to draft Will Riley to stash him, let him play in the G League. Maybe put him on a 2-way, maybe get like a Terrence Shannon type of situation where he goes back and forth, drops 40 in a G League game, and then goes back and sits on the bench in the NBA. I think if anybody that drafts Will Riley is drafting him basically based purely on potential. And it's basically, it'd be up to him to decide, do I think I can improve my draft stock with another year in college? And if he were to do that, I would think he would probably do that at Illinois. But who knows? They're already out recruiting, and who knows what that'll look like. So right now, my take on Will Riley is you just got to hope that from time to time he can catch fire.
And
I think
offseason
really
with Fletch.
Yeah,
oh
would do him wonders.
Oh, my God.
An entire offseason.
Yes.
I mean, because he didn't get to Champaign until pretty late because obviously he's a freshman and he was late to decide anyway. And so an entire offseason in Champaign for Will would work wonders. If he can just become a slightly more consistent shooter and build up some strength, he is going to be an absolute force next year. So that's what he needs to happen.
Yep.
That's my take. Yep. Anything else? I don't know if there's anybody else. Let's see. I know Michael's in there talking about coaches stuff. Brandon, I saw Brandon's comment. Basically, with getting embarrassed with Maryland, we have to win out until Duke. I don't really know what that means. Like what for what? Like what do you play? Like you're not going to win a Big Ten title. So like what?
If they went out, they could, but
they could sure. What are the Big Ten standings right now?
I mean, Michigan State has to start losing. They're undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, I don't at this point. I don't think it's very likely at all that Illinois has a shot to win the Big Ten tournament or Big Ten regular season title. I don't think there's any question about them being a tournament team and all those things. I think they're certainly capable of all of it. So I mean, yes, I would love to see them win out until Duke. I think they're capable of it, but I don't, seeding. I know what you're saying. But I mean, right now this team is probably, I think this team's seeding ceiling is probably a 4. maybe if they win a lot more games the back half this season, they can crawl up to a 3. But I think
The
that's
goal,
probably pushing it.
the
I
goal at
think
this point should be to get the double bye.
for the Big Ten, I'm thinking
Yeah.
the big tournament. Yes, correct. That would be
Yep.
so that's the top 8 seeds.
Top 4.
Top 4 is the double bye.
Then
You're right.
5
Yes,
through
the
8
one.
is 1 bye.
Yes. Okay. You're right. Yeah. Top 4 would be. I think that's certainly still in play. Let's see. What was I going to look at here? Standings in the Big Ten. Right now, Michigan State's 8-0, Purdue 8-2. Is this even updated? I don't even know.
I mean, Illinois is 6-4.
Yes, so this is updated. So yeah, so Michigan State's has not lost in conference play. Purdue is 8-2. Michigan, who got throttled by Purdue, is 6-2. Wisconsin at 6-3. Wisconsin, Illinois at 6-4.
Maryland, Illinois.
Maryland and Illinois 6-4, and Oregon and UCLA are 5-4. Yeah, I think top 4 of the Big Ten is certainly still in play. But I don't know necessarily that like winning out until Duke like changes much.
Michigan State has 12 games left. 10 of those 12 are quad 1 games.
Yeah.
So
they're going to lose some games.
Isn't exactly easy.
They're going to lose some games. Are they going to lose 4?
I don't see them losing 4. Yeah, I
don't know that they're going to lose 4. That team is better than I expected them to be, but I don't know that they're going to lose 4. But Illinois has a lot.
Could.
Again, once you get past this next 4 games, Illinois' schedule after that is not easy either. They host UCLA. Yep. They host Michigan State. They go to Wisconsin, go to the Garden to play Duke. They host Iowa. They go to Michigan, and they host Purdue. That's how Illinois closes out their season. So, yeah, I mean, Michigan State would have to lose 4 games, and Illinois would have to win them all in order to get close to the first place in the conference.
And then you also need Purdue to lose twice, Michigan to lose twice, Wisconsin to lose again. Like so much has to happen. It's just
there's certainly a lot at play here. I think the goal, as you said, it should be at the double bye, top 4 in the Big Ten as far as seeding, and then hopefully you can find your way into a 4 seed probably in the big tournament. But a lot of basketball to be played before then. A lot of things can happen between now and March 7th when the regular season comes to an end. Anything else from the chat or anything else from you?
No, I'm on. Oh my God, Barkley just scored again. Oh no, he's short. I'm on. Have you ever gone to the website Not Nothing?
No. Should I go now?
It's bball.notnothing.net.
bball.notnothing.net. Okay, I think I have seen this before, but I don't spend much time on it. So what am I doing here?
Basically, you pick the winners of these games, and it spits out what the standings would be. So it's a little early for that because we're still like a month and a half left in the season.
Okay.
So there's a lot of games to pick. But once it gets later in the season, you can go in and predict the final couple weeks, and it'll spit out, the standings.
Interesting. This is fun.
Yeah. So
done this before.
I don't know what he has it set for, like, because it pops up with winners when you come on to the page. So I don't know what he has that set for, if it's just like win percentage or what. But it predicts based on his parameters that Illinois does win out the rest of the Big Ten season, but gets second in the Big Ten to Michigan, who goes 17-3. So I don't find that to be realistic.
No.
But I do have this site bookmarked. It's good. It's later in the year. It's good. It's got every conference, Power Fives. It's got the mid majors, and it spits out conference tournaments and all that stuff. So
I will be spending more time on this site. Did not know much about that. Okay. All right. Anything else from you?
I don't think so. Not that I can think of. When's the next game? Thursday at
7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, I believe.
At least it's not 9.
I believe that's an FS1 game, maybe. I don't know.
Did you know what the line was tonight?
No.
It was right at that 8.5 mark. So the comeback scared a lot of people.
I bet that did. Interesting. I did not see that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's shut this thing down. Let's go watch football. Enjoy the rest of our Sunday evenings.
Who you got? I mean, this
Who
game's
do I
halfway
got
over. So who you have in the
AFC?
AFC?
Chiefs. Duh.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it seems like the obvious choice, but
Yeah.
I'll go Chiefs over the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I feel like we've
Okay.
seen that before, but okay. Yeah, we'll probably be back Thursday. But as we've kind of seen, we're kind of hit or miss based on life and how badly we want to talk about the games. So, yeah. Plus,
Yeah, I'm glad you started the show with that because that was going to be my first point. Was like,
I
I promise we're
tweeted
not
it out,
ducking the
too.
shows except for Thursday. We did duck Thursday.
we definitely ducked
Sunday
Thursday.
we were both busy,
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we did duck Thursday.
No, our peak. What was it? Peak by Cabo. That's what I'm gone for the week. That was our motto. This team needs to peak by Cabo.
And when are you leaving?
When I'm leaving, I will be gone for the Wisconsin game. So I leave the 16th. So I will see the Michigan State game. I will maybe watch the Wisconsin game from Cabo. I will be on a plane during the Duke game. So okay. I'm also not sure if I'll be watching the Michigan game now that I think about it. So I'm going to maybe miss basketball here coming up. But
okay, fair enough.
That's it. That's going to do it for us. He's Craig. I'm Logan. Thank you for tuning in. Go watch football. Final from Champaign, Illinois 83, Northwestern 74. We will see you guys probably Thursday night after the